agree partly with my colleagues here, but also agree also with Wakili that we don't need to be drastic because this has happened or this has been discovered. But again, we also need to have church leaders themselves through the many bodies that we have like NCCK and others come out clearly to state their position on this. I know Archbishop Muheria did mention something yesterday, but we also need more and more church leaders to talk about this. We also need to understand how they are going to regulate themselves. In every industry or in every big sack of potatoes, sometimes you get one rotten potato. And that has been the case even with the media. Sometimes you have some of the journalists who are rotten potatoes who push things the wrong way. But we don't say we curtail the freedom of speech, association, the freedom of worship. We do not curtail that. But let us have regulation within. Because from time to time, you will get people who understand that because these areas are not properly regulated and they are so protected by the Constitution, so you find some of the Cornish people, some of crooks, rogue pastors and rogue bishops will use this veil to do other things behind the scenes. And we need to be very, very much alert. And we need to, as a country, be quick to take some actions when we see this. And you'll be very surprised that a lot of things happen behind the scenes. You remember we also had a case of child trafficking, which was being done in a church setup. Unfortunately, we don't seem to have concluded that matter very well. Right. But by the time we were discovering that so many children had been trafficked from Kenya to other worlds, we were so shocked. And everyone wondered, how did this happen? And this one was involving even more jurisdictions. It was beyond this country. And there's so much that happens. You know, one day I left, I was going to Thika Road. And when I go to Kasarani, and it's not a long time ago, I think about 2 or 3 months ago, when I go to Kasarani, there was so much traffic jam. And I wondered what is happening. And when I was driving up to the city, there were so many people all over. People all over the road, by the roadside and everywhere. So I wondered, what is happening? And I was told, all these people you see here had come to Kasarani Stadium because there's a preacher who was coming from another city to Nairobi, and they had all gone there to worship. My friend, I had never heard about that pastor before. I heard about that pastor that day. And I wondered, how did people know even about this? And I was shocked. Even people from the village were in the city. And they had hired matatus to come to the city. And how did you feel as a politician? Are you getting? Well, once again, I said I don't want to look at this from a political perspective. But seriously speaking,